Hello, hello. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of Tori Talk. I am here with Marcus Avery Christian, the founder of Chow and Company, and my neighbor.
Yes, neighbor.
Like, not pretend neighbor, actual in the neighborhood neighbor, and have been living here as long as me.
Yes. What, 4 years?
Yes.
Right across the street?
Never ran into him one day. He'd be too busy out here being a foodie, eating around this city, so I never run into him. But
now I know.
I know, now
so
you
I'm
know.
coming over.
Yeah, so thank you so much for stopping by. And thank you so much again for you guys. We are doing a combined refined taste and Chow and Company. So please make sure if you're not following both of our platforms, you do so. Because this will be our collaboration. I'm super excited.
Yes, me too. We still got to pick our place, right?
I know.
Where we going?
I know. I have so many thoughts.
We'll talk about that afterwards.
Okay. I'm going to say, because I'm going to leave it to the pros to figure out where we want to go. But Marcus, I was so excited to have you. When I first sat down with you, when we ran into each other at DC Veg Week, and you told me about Chow and Company, I have been a fan ever since. Mm-hmm. The content is great. The food looks great. How do you stay so thin? Because I'm be big ass a house out here on this refined taste.
Okay, real talk, you learn, and this is me coming from the South, born and raised North Carolina, 704 in particular. I had to unlearn that I can't eat everything on my plate. Like sometimes it's okay just to take a few bites, taste it, and go on to the next meal, especially on some days when I'm like eating at more than one place at a time. So yeah, I just learned to just, when you get full, stop.
I think that literally is a rule of thumb.
Yes.
Let's not try to force everything into our mouths because it's just going to make that waistline expand.
Yes.
And I'm a little too old now to be trying to lose too much weight. I'm not the best. You can ask my boyfriend. But I want to jump into a conversation with you because you are a pro. You are a, expert. You are the go-to person here. And you also are a writer for, what is it?
Cuisine Noir.
Exactly, Cuisine Noir. So I was like, so you are a double professional, okay?
I'm trying.
You know. And I wanted to talk to you about the fact that Keith Lee was just here. And it's so funny that everyone's like, DC food is nasty and all of that. And you tell me how you feel about it. Because for me, I feel it didn't offend me because he's not eating at the places that I frequent.
Yes.
So I feel like I'm not upset because if he want to go look at some refined taste, I could show you how to ball, Keith.
Exactly.
But that's not the point of his platform. So I didn't get upset. How did you feel?
I didn't get upset. I feel as though he was misguided. Just to put it frankly. And want to start off by saying I love Keith Lee. This is all no shade. But yeah, I think he was severely misguided. I know I caught like one of his lives or like a replay. And he said that he only went to places that he was referred to. Again, I don't know who this person or these people who referred him to the places that he went, but clearly not good because I think he only posted 3 out of the 12 places. Yeah. Correct me if I might be wrong on those numbers, but something along the lines of that. He only posted 3 out of 12 places that he went to. So, and that's because he didn't want to discourage business because he had either mediocre or bad experience at some of these places. So, I think he could have chose up, so to speak. I think he could have, reached out to influencers like myself and many others, just to connect with us and be like, okay, let me get the real on the DC or the DMV food scene, because I know he went outside of the DC area as well. But I wasn't offended. I mean, it comes with the territory. We all have opinions on, food as an influencer or anybody else as a regular consumer. So, we all have our own opinion. So his opinion is just that, but I do think he was severely misguided.
Now, as the expert, if he would have contacted you, can you think of even like 2 or 3 places that you think you would have recommended to him based on the type of food he reviewed?
Yes.
That would have been like, you would have went here. You could have hit me up. You would have had a good experience.
Well, I'm going to always shout out Black-owned businesses because that's what I do.
Yes.
So the first one that comes to mind is actually right around the corner from us. It's called Spice Black. I don't know if you've been.
Of course I go to Spice Black and get my salads. It's so good.
Yes.
So good. That's a recommendation of a friend of mine, of course, who's Black.
Yes. So that's good. I'm actually about to drop that reel in a few maybe tomorrow. We'll see. So be on the lookout for that. So Spice Black, again, that's Upper Marlboro, Largo, Maryland. St. James, if you want like a Caribbean vibe. Well, I should also back up. Spice Black represents like food across the diaspora. So they have everything from jollof rice, coconut curry. They have like a southern barbecue bowl. So it runs the gamut. Also, St. James is giving the Caribbean vibes. That's like U Street area. And then I would probably say if you want like some really good like fried chicken or a fried chicken sandwich, I would probably go with Queen Mother's. They have a new location at Nationals Landing. So shout out to Chef Rock Harper on that. He won season 3 of Hell's Kitchen.
Mm-hmm. Chef Rock.
Yep. So those would probably be like my top 3. But of course there are many others. So Keith, sit down with me. We can have a one-on-one and we can get you right.
Right. Mike say when you come back, hit me up, player. I got you under control.
Yes, definitely.
Love that. Mm-hmm. Now, what I love about the platform, like you said, of course, like I even put that in our caption, like you really focus on Black-owned businesses and restaurants. I do the same with my platform for Tori Talk, and that's why, you're here and highlighting, the dynamic and amazing people in this area and things that we do. Can you tell me a little bit about how Chow and Company came about? Because look, we got merch.
Yes.
I mean, we're going to shout this out later, but there's
we do have merch.
You could buy it.
Okay, Tori, how much time we got? You want the long version or the short version?
We got the whatever version you think the people need to know.
Okay, I'm going to give you slightly condensed but long, if that makes sense. Okay, so it all started back in 1992 when I was born. No, we ain't going to go back that far.
I'm also born in
92, it is what it is. Okay, so basically I was always that child who was always like glued to the TV watching Food Network. Like I wasn't a cartoon guy. I was watching like Rachel Ray, Ina Garden, Barefoot Contessa, all the things. Yes, like my dream is to be in her Hamptons home and just eat with her. But we'll live that out.
If you don't know, we do. When you know, you know. What J-Lo say? When you know, you know.
Exactly. So yeah, just being that rambunctious little kid, always in the kitchen cooking, with my mom, with my grandma. Again, I'm from the South, so food is very much so a part of our culture. So you couldn't tell me when I was like younger, middle school age, even up to high school, that I wasn't going to like culinary school. Like I knew I wanted to be a chef, all that. But fast forward, this is the slightly condensed version. Life got in the way. And honestly, I was always a talkative student. So I ended up just really wanting to pursue law. And a part of me kind of pushed my culinary dreams away because, I mean, you know how sometimes being a lawyer would be like, it would probably guarantee a bit more success.
Yeah.
I have a different way of thinking now, but that was my way of thinking back then. Right. So again, went on to college. Matriculated through there at North Carolina Central University in Durham, North Carolina, HBCU.
HBCU, Howard.
Yes. So went there, went through the programs, took the LSAT, decided law school ain't for me. So, but I was also taking communications classes. So I ended up switching my major and double majoring in communications and political science. So at that time, I, secured a few internships. I started doing government communications. So that leads me all the way up to here. Had some master's programs in between, but we're going to jump a little bit. So I got done with school, VCU in Richmond, Virginia, and then Georgetown University. Shout out to all the Hoyas out there. I finished that program, and then after like school, because I went like all the way through, and I was like, okay, what am I about to do with my life? Like, it came to a point where I was like the person who was just like, okay, go to work, come home, go to work, come home. And I'm like, yeah, this ain't living. So I was like, okay, I want to do something like that I'm passionate about. So then I decided, remember that little kid, that little pipe dream that you always had to like, be something in the food realm? I was like, let's rehash that. So I ended up combining my love for communications with my love for food. And then Chow and Company came to be. And then also I was just always kind of like the foodie out of all my friends. Like people want to know like, where should I eat? Where should I go to like the restaurants here and there? So I was always like that person doing like the recommendations. So it was just like a natural fit that I would, develop this brand.
Now, this was what year?
This was, okay, so I started conceptualizing in 2020.
Okay.
But me being the very type A person that I am, and I did a lot of planning in lieu of action. So there's actually an even funny story behind that. So to answer your question quickly, I launched in 2021, but again, conception began in 2020. So I randomly went to a friend's birthday party one night. We were drinking. We were feeling a little nice.
Drinks.
Yes, definitely feeling a little nice. And we were just talking about dreams and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, well, I want to start this food blogging page. But I was like, but I'm doing all this planning right now. But I'm going to launch it in probably 2 or 3 more years. I know. I had a whole vision for it. And now it sounds crazy to me, but that's just how I was. And this one of my friends, a friend of a friend who was there, she was like, 2 or 3 years? She was like, make the Instagram page now. And so she took my phone and we made the Instagram page that night. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's alive. Like it's here.
Community. I mean, I know sometimes, I know we joke about the drinks and that type of stuff, but you never know.
Yeah.
If you just do it, what can come from it?
And so I had done all this planning. This is what phase 1, 2, 3 is going to look like. This is what year 3, 4, and 5. Again, communicator by trade, all that planning. I did that. Made the page, and then it took me about 6 more months because, again, I am a planner. I was like, but I'm going to launch it in 2021. And so I ended up doing that, launching October the 8th of 2021, to be exact. So it took me a little more than 6 months. But I just ended up launching it, and I've never looked back.
And crazy amount of success, guys. Crazy amount of access. I want to talk a little bit about that, right? Yeah. Because I know that some of us, we have these platforms and we do these things, or we all feel that we are food connoisseurs, okay? And that we are the ones who should be telling you we are the taste makers.
Yes.
That's what I call my refined taste makers. But it's there's also a level of you really have to know about food, really. You really need to know about what makes a good restaurant, what makes for a good experience, good atmosphere. And I feel like when I started Refined Taste, what I had a problem with was that whenever I use TikTok like a search engine, I don't know about anybody else.
Yes.
So when I'm looking for places to go, whether I'm going out of town or in my own city, I will want to see what people say.
Exactly.
And the thing is it was straight. The drinks are a little expensive. And I'm like, this has told me nothing.
Yes.
I don't know anything about this. And I was like, there has got to be a better way. And I have a love for storytelling.
Yes,
so I wanted to take my Tori Talk storytelling abilities and my communication journalist abilities, and then put it into giving you a real review.
Yes.
I feel like that is definitely how Chow does.
Yes. So, to that point, I will say my conventional style is that, I hate hearing my own voice. So I don't do a lot of talking. I will if you pay me. So I will comment and do the voiceover thing. But for the most part, I will just show you things that I enjoyed and or recommend at a restaurant and my recaps. So again, kind of similar to the Keith Lee thing. It was very important to me that one of the things I valued when I started my brand, mind you, this was at one of the heights of COVID. So, the restaurant industry, they were hardly impacted by that. So I never wanted to be a person that takes away from somebody else's business. So again, I'm not going to say any discouraging remarks because I've been to restaurants that bad service, bad
I was
food.
going to ask, but I was waiting for you to finish your talk.
Yeah, so I never want to be that person. And I get it. It's cute. It's sensationalized, all that.
It's the gotcha.
It is. And for the people that do that, if you like it, I love it. But that's just not something that I want to do with my brand. So, that's just kind of my own personal style. But you can trust that if it appears on my page, it's something that I stand behind and can recommend.
Yeah, I like that. And I like that idea too, because I don't really do bad reviews. I'm really just not, it would have to be a crazy, horrible experience in order for it to be a bad review.
Yes.
And if I actually took the time to then edit and voice and package it, I must have been really trying to be on Get Back.
Yes.
That's a lot of extra work to do just to give a bad review.
It is. Because it's very much time consuming, to your point. Again, I know most of the time you all might see a 30-second, 60-second clip. But what goes behind that, when you have first of all, the memory on my phone is gone. I may have like 100 clips from like a single restaurant, so I have to like edit that down into a 30-second clip. Like it is very much so time consuming. And me being the meticulous type A person that I am, it has to look a particular way.
And it does.
Yes.
Appetizing.
Yes. And so I'll be honest, like I don't edit all of my videos. I did hire a videographer just because, again.
Oh, isn't that nice? Videographer edits for you.
Right. It's always
my videographer make me edit my own content, y'all.
Oh, really?
The boyfriend.
Uh-oh.
He wants you to be better. He wants you to be great.
Okay. Well, look, I won't get into the middle of that. Y'all can talk about that after I leave. But yeah, so I do, take on the services of a videographer from time to time, or else I would never get anything like done because I'm going to like multiple places a week. So it's like I just need to be able to film my content and be like, you do it. And, we have that relationship now where he pretty much hits the mark.
Every time.
But to that point, it's still time consuming for me because I am so meticulous. Like, I tell him like second by second. So honestly, I really might as well be editing the video because it's like, no, at the 6 second mark, I want this here. At the 8 second mark, I want this here. I want this transition here. Then, I want this background music. And then can you cut it off? And can you turn up the volume here? It's
down to that level of detail.
Yeah, it is. So again, yeah, I can be very type A, needless to say.
But I mean, your quality of your work definitely represents that you care about what you're putting out.
I do.
And like you said, for just access, I mean, guys, someone was just at a little, brand new restaurant opening at Dogon, okay? Chef Kwame, I cannot wait. I went to, what was the name? It just completely left my head.
What's his previous restaurant?
Mm-hmm, the one at the
Kith and Ken?
No, that's not. That was.
Was his. It was here, but it closed.
Okay, I thought I had the wrong name.
It?
Yes, Kith and Ken.
Okay.
Yes, okay, Kith and Ken. I was like, don't say the wrong thing.
Yeah.
And we went. It was during the pandemic.
Yep.
And I couldn't get the full menu.
Yep.
So we were just like, oh my gosh. At this point, I'm just gonna like not go. And then turn your head around, and the restaurant was gone.
Yes.
And I was so sad.
I never made it there.
Look,
I wanted to go.
In the door, no food. That's how it was. It was like on a break because it was like such a condensed menu during the time. So when I heard he was coming back, I was like, yes. How was that? How was family reunion? I didn't want to go every year, but I'm too broke. Okay? They're not paying me yet for Refined Taste. So I'm like, ooh, Lord, the tickets. But amazing.
Yeah. Okay, look, where do I even want to start? We want to start at Dogon, or not Kith and Ken, but family reunion. Which one you want me to tackle first?
Dogon.
Okay, Dogon, first of all, is in the Salamander, owned by Sheila Johnson. And because there are two, it's in the DC location for anybody who's interested. And absolutely beautiful. The restaurant is stunning. I mean, whoever did the interior design, like amazing. Shout out to them. Now, again, I know that he's going to serve, obviously, the food that we tasted. But, of course, I didn't get to taste every single thing because I'm drinking, dancing, trying to network, too, and doing all that. But the food was good. I'm not even, like, a huge oyster person, but he had some type of, like, little oyster hors d'oeuvre, and I was in love. And I'm blanking on the name, but certainly if you make your way there, just ask, what's the oyster dish? Like, it's really, really good. I also had, like, this slider dish. I want to say it was maybe like a Korean beef, like, slider. It was, like, amazing. Cocktails, great. Again, it sits, like, on the balcony, so you can, like, overlook, DC. It's an amazing experience. And again, it's in the Salamander Hotel. So it's like just beautiful all around. Yeah.
And now, family reunion, because again, I told you, I haven't made it there yet, but I'm very much in the know about it.
Yeah. So family reunion was honestly the quintessential Black family reunion. I mean, you got people playing games outside, you got people grilling, you got people playing double Dutch hopscotch, like the whole thing. It was like really, really nice. And I will be honest. I went on behalf of Cuisine Noir, so I had a media pass, so I didn't pay.
I know. Look, it don't matter. You was in the building.
Yeah, and so I was there for 2 of the 4 days because it's always a 4-day event.
Yeah.
Yep. But the 2 days that I was there, baby, open bar, and of course, got to talk about the programming. The programming was nice too.
DJ D Nice.
DJ D Nice, 112 performed, I'm over here peaches and cream, getting it. Oh my gosh, again, totally wasn't expecting that. Again, I'm sitting here, dancing beside Carla P. Hall, it was just, and everybody was, so chill. You have, all these, world-renowned chefs, and everybody just oh, hey, what's up? And I'm like, I watch you on TV. Beyond my dreams, I will definitely be going back. Yeah.
Now, you were speaking about work perks, right? Mm-hmm. So, what has it been like, between your writing for Cuisine Noir and in between Chow Company? What has been the best work perk you've gotten thus far?
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I don't do what I do for this reason, but.
Right.
I get free experiences all the time. Restaurants, I don't pay for food anymore. And even when I start to kind of sort of branch out into the lifestyle things, I get invited to these free experiences. In DC, there's always something going on, concerts, games. I'm not even a big sports person, but hey, I'll go, from time to time. But yeah, that's nice. And I get to take my friends along with me. And that's also a nice perk because, again, I work a 9 to 5 and then also do Chow and Company. So that's kind of another 9 to 5, or at least the 5 p.m. to 9 a.m.
Right.
So the inverse of that. And so I'm busy. So because with that, I get to, take my friends along with me. So it's just hey, come on with me. We get a free experience. I ain't gonna lie, that's kind of nice.
It can't hurt.
Yeah.
Like you said, you don't do it for that, but it is nice.
It's quite nice. Yeah. And I should also say, just to make it sound better, meeting the people.
Oh, of course. Highlighting the businesses.
Yes.
Letting everyone else know about the amazing experiences. Exactly. That is the only reason that we do any of this. It's for you, not for us. Right.
Okay.
Now, you were also talking about a place I just always have people who are always the leader of their industries, top of their field, or building. And every single time I get one of these industry professionals in, I always say what has been the best or the worst part about the job, right? And I've always gotten such hilarious stories about their worst of something. So what on this journey, or even before, has been your worst experience at a restaurant? Obviously, don't name the restaurant, but what has been the worst experience?
Ooh, okay. My absolute worst experience happened maybe a few months ago from a very, very popular restaurant in DC, and you know who you are. I was invited there because I should also say that most of the time I'm invited to the restaurants is through the PR companies and not necessarily the manager at a restaurant. So I think that's important. But so I was invited there on a Friday evening to said restaurant, and when I first got there, they didn't even know who I was. I'm just no,
I didn't just show up here. Y'all know I'm coming, right?
And again, and I'm not a person who's expecting this 5-star treatment, but it's just
I was invited.
I was
Y'all
invited.
Should know I'm coming.
Yeah. So that's that. Get there, and of course, like any other food blogger or influencer, whatever, we always travel with our little light because it's always a little dim and such. So you just never know how the lighting situation is gonna be. So you just need that. I take out my little light. I'm doing my little thing. Mind you, I'm in the corner. I ain't bothering nobody. The manager comes up. He's just do you mind putting your light away? Only because, people have complained in the past about, when influencers come in here, and they were it's too much light or they don't want to be on camera. And I'm okay, well, one, I was invited. I didn't choose to come here.
Why didn't y'all bring me here before it opened if that was going to be a problem?
That part. Two, I was just again, sir, I'm in the corner of the restaurant, so I'm not in the center. Nobody can really see me. And I'm asking did anybody complain just now? He was no, but we've gotten complaints in the past. So I'm okay. Got it, and then the food Chrono took forever. And I ain't gonna lie, the food was actually good. I do hate that, but just on the strength of what my experience was, I'm not going back.
Right.
But damn, that
was
I ain't never gonna say the meal because
right,
it might kind of give it away.
It'll give it away.
Yeah. But yeah, just rude. Very rude, like from the management, not even the server.
Right.
So it's just like a complete disregard for like what I do. And yeah, I just thought that wasn't cool. And of course I did relay that back to the PR company and yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's been about the worst. Again, the general stuff, like sometimes you just eat bad food. It's just, that's just, you know, the name of the game. But yeah, that one experience at said restaurant was probably the worst I've encountered.
Yeah. I'm going to figure out what that is when we stop rolling. So I can be like, ooh, let me know. Now, when I was talking about the top of the interview, I was talking about your merch. So I've gone to your website. It's a beautiful website. Very well done. You all should make sure you go and check that out after this interview. There's also a section about merch.
Yes.
Now, I always think it's funny because it's like, I had merch. I was doing merch. Some people do it. It's always like, do you do merch or do you not? What made you want to actually get into the selling of Chow & Company product?
Yeah, so one of the other legs of Chow & Company, again, is that storytelling effort. So I, for those who don't know, I actually have a podcast where, you know, I interview Black entrepreneurs in the food and beverage space. So with that, I haven't actually done one in a while, but I'm about to start season 2 back up. I had to take a little pause.
You don't got to explain to me. I know how to look. My season 2 was real long. Now season 3 is like, this is new.
Yeah, so thank you. You get it.
Grace.
Yes. So I'm about to start that back up. I'm going to batch record and we're going to get there. But basically, the merch came as a result of the podcast. So, you know, I was telling these stories and people wanted more than one way to be a part of this story or to be a part of my brand. So that was just like one of the ways in which I did it. And I have like hella stuff that you can buy on chowandcompany.com/shop. You know, water bottles, I have mugs, I have like brunch inspired teas. It's just like, you know, mimosa, like I got like brown sugar, you know, brown sugar tops and all that stuff. Everything food inspired. So certainly, you know, go check that out and support the kid. but yeah, so honestly, the podcast was like the main catalyst for that.
Now, what is next? Because again, I mean, to have this crazy amount of success and to be able to do such amazing work and like you said, constantly, you know, with the focus of Black-owned businesses and, you know, entrepreneurs and putting, you know, us on out in places that people may not normally see us. What is next? I mean, you did so much from 2021 to now. Like, is there any next for you?
Oh, gosh. Well, one thing I do want to say or clarify because people might go on my page. So I do focus on Black-owned businesses, but I don't.
It's not only
Yeah. For my food reviews, I don't focus strictly on Black-owned businesses.
Yeah.
So just want to make that clear. People go on there, you ain't.
They're like, but that's not.
Yeah. Now for my podcast, it's blackity black, only Black-owned. Okay. So that's it. But in terms of like what's going on next for me, I'm trying to work on a few brand deals. Got some in the making. But you know, we ain't signed the contract just yet. So we're gonna see what that's giving. Again, the podcast, season 2.5 is coming. Again, I'm gonna start interviewing soon and maybe release some again at the top of the year. So that's coming. More merch. Certainly get your merch. You know, give me feedback. Let me know what you think about it. If there's something that you want, let me know. And then I also kind of want to move into the event space in a sense and maybe start doing like some private dinners like with chefs in the DMV area. Almost like the concept of a supper club, if anybody's familiar with it.
My mother wants to start a supper club. She's a caterer and an event planner in this area.
Okay, well then we might need to get together.
Right.
Because I got the planner in me. I already got the whole concept, how it's going to roll out. Yes.
My mom from the South, the supper club I did was one she has had, I think, some childhood of a supper club.
Oh, we might really need to get together then.
From South Carolina.
Yes. Oh, so I already know. She's verified and approved. She can cook. So yeah, honestly, that event space, and again, just continuing to tell the stories of, again, Black entrepreneurs, whether that's through my writing or through my podcast. And just, you know, it was very important for me for the start to just always use my platform to give a voice to those who are historically disadvantaged, i.e. my black people. So, just continuing to build up my platform so I can elevate those voices even more.
Amazing. And last but not least, there's I feel they say an oversaturated pool of us who are doing reviews of such, on TikTok or Instagram in that social media realm. What advice would you give someone who is thinking about getting into it more in a professional realm, not just in the when I go out for fun? What do you want them to know?
Know that, again, I'll say, if you care about the caliber of work in which you're putting out, it can be very time consuming. So you certainly have to just kind of plan for that. And certainly you want to think about, what differentiates you from the rest of the pack, because to your point, it's very saturated. Everybody wants to be an influencer now, not even in the food space. It's just any and everything. So, there's some competition there. And then, of course, you're always constantly battling the algorithm from, insert platform, whatever it is. Just find a way to differentiate yourself, but always remain authentic to yourself and just know your why. Why are you doing this content? Why are you producing this content? And I think you'll be fine.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sitting. It was such a riveting and engaging conversation.
Thank you.
Before we go, I'm definitely going to get you to give everyone your socials, but I saw that you got to go, again, another fabulous event, when Tyra was here, and she had her pop-up, and y'all were smizing, so you got to give my camera with your drink a smize. Now, you learn from the best. So
I know,
you
I
can't
did.
do this. I don't know.
But Tyra was kind of giving me hair vibes and all that. Okay. So,
am
I supposed to smize?
Yeah, okay. Right to the camera. We want to get a smize in.
When are we going to do? Give me a countdown.
Let's go. 3.
So we gonna turn.
Oh, yes. 3, 2, 1. Oh, it just seems like I had wind in the building.
You got to have it. You got to have the little Beyonce fan. And if you don't, you got to make it
up. Always a little handheld.
Right.
Thank you so much. Please let everyone at home know where they can follow you, follow the brand and your website and all that, so they can definitely be a part of the amazing stuff that you're doing over at Chow Company.
Yep. So again, type A person in me. Everything is Chow and Company. If you're typing it out, Chow ampersand Company. But any social media handles is going to be Chow and AND Company spelled out all the way.
A website.
Yeah, and chowandcompany.com, chowandcompany.com.
There you go.
Again, you can get everything that I do, again, from the writing to the podcast to any events that I'm doing, you can catch everything there.
Okay, and with that, we're going to do another smile.
Okay.
And then 3, 2, 1. Bye, everybody.